All right, friends. I've titled this video, 4chan Wasn't Hacked. I'm going to tell you my theory. We're going to be walking into the sun. The sun, we still probably got about a half-hour broadcast. I need some exercise. So 4chan wasn't hacked, and here's why. Follow the money. How much money do you think 4chan is worth with 200,000 visitors at any one moment? Being a top 100 internet site? I ran my own thing called Image Deposit, and I had a Cogent Co account, and that bandwidth can be really expensive. It cost me $1,100 a month just to rent the rack. Then I ran my own servers. I had a fiber optic Cisco router, and that I had to pay somebody to program because I didn't know how to do it. Anyways, 4chan was worth a lot of money because of the influence. You might say, "Oh, it's a garbage, Wayne." Okay, that might be true, but a magazine that you can buy that's garbage. It could be Sports Illustrated or Time Magazine or Condé Nast. You might say, "Hey, those are garbage magazines," and they are, and they're still worth maybe $50 million to $100 million because the people they reach, because of the influence. Magazines tell you that advertisers and it's all about getting money from advertisers. Advertisers are part of it, but it's really about controlling the narrative. So 4chan was definitely controlling the narrative. And I think it was funded by the government, like USAID. Maybe we'll see some transparency and we'll learn that USAID was funding 4chan. I just think, all that money we give Israel, a lot of it is to create propaganda against Americans. So here's my big theory. This is so outrageous. There's going to be a war with Iran because Trump will do anything Israel tells him. And Israel's probably going to nuclear bomb themselves. A nuclear bomb probably go off simultaneously in Israel and maybe at least 4 locations in America. The reason 4 locations, they have nuclear bomb warnings for New York City, New Jersey, and Ventura, California, and San Antonio, Texas had nuclear, dirty bomb drills in San Antonio. So those are the only places where the public has been warned. So after the bombs go off, and then Trump locks us down to martial law, and then we go to war with Iran, then we'll enter the wartime economy. This will give them the justification to spend a lot more money to take away our civil rights and our liberties because of terrorism. They might even and Iran were working together. So just plan on Trump doing 100% the opposite of everything he said he would do. Did you hear he's putting up a 100-foot American flag? Manning himself. That's something politicians never do, reach into their own pocket. Trump is just milking every media opportunity he can. He's good. He's a good showman. He's got his own reality TV show, and he's the producer. The guy's smart. He knows how to pull on people's heartstrings. So don't be surprised when the nukes go off and Americans die. They don't care. I don't think I have anything more about Trump. I'm walking over here. They just cleaned up this area except for that wall and a bunch of other, but they cleaned about 80% of it. Hey Jimmy, no donuts today, huh? Sorry, man. Let's go over here and look at this debris. This is the back of an old automotive building. My neighbor has their family used to own the tow truck service. So this is where they repaired stuff. Here's a nice concrete slab. It was really pretty trashy before. It was really just a huge mess. It's still kind of a mess, but it's not as bad. I'm working on a new Ford thing. I'm calling it Bright Chan. And today, I got the domain name pointed to the circuit working. I got the database set up. And next, I just upload the files and connect it to the database and run the startup script. I've done this about 10 times over the last 6 years. I got to get the legalese information. I got to get the email address set up for law enforcement when they give me subpoenas. Have a few moderators. I really don't want to run a 4chan site. It's kind of a nightmare because of the people. However, Murphy's Law says if I go through all this effort to set it up, 4chan will come back. I think 4chan's worth like $50 million or something. It would be hard to take over. You know, I tried to open 4chans in the past. It being the government was why it had the success. They're paying for the bandwidth. Same goes with the transgender site, Kiwi Farms. That place shouldn't exist. It's kind of like its own containment zone. That's where they groom the transgender people to do acts of murder. That's where I'm walking. It's kind of fun. But that's not a priority. I ordered battery cables, and I got a print. Pretty big order come in. I just want to make sure I don't forget something. Yeah, this is a big wash, big flood zone here. The variety kind of neat because those rocks have only traveled 5 miles. Oh, the wind's going crazy. Let me put a shirt on it. Okay, that should be better. Thanks, Mr. Brennan. How's it now? We're in the thick of the wind. Turns out we need the sun every day to make vitamin D. And when people don't have vitamin D, it leads to a zillion different health consequences. Like a lot. They discovered that like in the 40s or something. There's D3. You can get it in supplements, but it's just better to get, like, I think they said 45 minutes of sun. Also, they said sunglasses fuck people up. That your eyes take in the sunshine, and when your body's taking it, hey, better do make some of that vitamin D. So the eyes trigger the body to respond to make the vitamin D. Oh man, look at this rock. Look at this specimen. This is a big piece of quartz. And look at the brown part in it. You want this to be more rusty. You want more iron. They say iron or gold rides an iron horse. So if you find iron in quartz, there's going to most likely be gold there. And I think the reason that is gold. Imagine molten rock and gold float to the top as well as quartz will also. And then when it cools, that's why they're all around each other in the same places. They figured out in World War II, trying to see if we can live in bomb shelters long term. My place is super cool for. I kept losing my signal. So this place just must have been the bottom of the ocean at one time. There's more water erosion. Oh, there's a really green. There's too much water erosion for where I'm at. There's not enough water to create this kind of erosion. So it must have been the bottom of an ocean where the tide going back and forth wore it all out. I've only been in a few riverbeds before, and I'm constantly amazed with the beauty of this place. A lot of people like to make fun of me for living off grid. It's fucking great, man. There's all kinds of places you can live that are far away from people. And look at, I got internet. If I didn't have internet, I could set up a Starlink and then some of those like pineapple routers, and I could broadcast Wi-Fi all over my neighborhood if I wanted. Works a little bit more orange in it, a little bit of teeny tiny rust stain. Wow. Okay, so look at this. So there's a pile of rock near the tree. Then the base of the tree, soft silt. That would be a good place to check for gold. Like that's desert prospecting. There's some guys who do, it's called like dry sleuthing, and you use air. Like look at this pile right here. It's just a big pile of silty dirt, where if there was gold in there, it'd be like, oh hey, here's a slow place to slow down and stop. You also want to look for something called black sand, and it literally looks like black sand. I don't know if you can see this here, but there's straight lines, and those straight lines are the tail of a lizard. Also, look at this tree. We got all these little flowers. I think the birds eat these. They're real pretty. See how yellow it is? It's like straight up bright yellow. Oh, there's another mound. Look at those rocks. Just look, that bush says, I'm not moving anywhere. And then there's like 2 feet of dirt there. It's kind of fun. That's totally that's some hotel for critters. A critter hotel. Wow, look at this big ass rock over here. Like how the, like the force of water to move this rock. Look at that. That's a big rock. I guess Discord got sold to some Indian people, and Stormfront, which is for neo-Nazis. I mean, I've been there 2 or 3 times just to be like, what are these idiots up to? That got down the same day 4chan got shut down. So when there's too many coincidences, it's coordinated. I mean, I'm guessing. If I was running the show, I wouldn't heads up. I would just shut it down the day the attacks happen. Klaus Schwab retired and the Pope died. I mean, the Pope is going to die someday. He's 80-something years old. He was a Jesuit. And you know, if you don't know much about the Jesuits are very critical. They question everything. What are your thoughts on the Noe-tech field? What does Noe-tech mean? I don't know. I don't know what Noe-tech is. Oh, here's my right there, that wall. My friend with the tractor, that wall is a berm in homes from being flooded. And this area turned into a lake, but one day that berm broke and flooded my little neighborhood. Built the berm back so in case some big flood waters came, it didn't come past my house so much. And it worked. Jimmy, tell me what Neotic is. Yeah, that berm right there is like 6 feet high. It's probably like 12 feet wide too. Here's a big tire pile. If the end of the world ever happens and you're just out here surviving, you could burn these tires for heat in the wintertime. Make like a steel furnace where you open up the door and throw in a tire and then shut the door so you don't have to smell the tire. You got a lot of heat right here. A lot of material. So here's the power pole, but the power pole is not connected to that power pole because I think people were stealing electricity. But if I get the building permit to put my manufactured home on it, then they'll connect it back up. Whoa, that is a huge. Oh, is that well, there's a big rock. Oh my god. Oh my god. So there's a bunch here. Somebody brought this here from the mine. This is probably worth. This needs to be crushed up. Look, it's all molten and jagged as fuck. It's full of gold. I gotta find a way to. Man. Wow. That is a gold specimen. Totally. Look at that. That's 15 inches by 15 inches. Wow. I've never seen anything like this. No visible gold, but there was a rumor that so people who used to live here worked at the mine, and that when they found gold, they brought home the gold and hid it here. The Neolithic field is a collective consciousness that we all connected to. It is what creates synchronicities or global consciousness. Oh, I totally believe in that. Oh, here's another rock. Wow. Let me get this in the sun. Look at those colors. Look at those reds. That's really gorgeous. Oh my God. Oh, that must be pyrite though. Well, right here, right where my thumb is, you can see some sparkly bits, but that's pyrite. But pyrite also has gold in it. Yeah, this might be somebody's. Oh my God, here's another. This is high grade ore. Wow. So radio signals through the air, right? But what is the air? We don't think of the air as wires. It is. So, I mean, I've said this many times, but if you're new to my channel, I believe that our memory is not in our head, that the human body is a transmitter and receiver. So when we think of something, that's an electrical signal, and a brain transmits that signal, and it instantly goes to my hard drive in the consciousness. Like our thoughts are not stored in our head; they're outside our head. Yeah, it's that's not my own idea. A friend of mine, because I was asking him, his name was Bob. I was like, Bob, how do we store stuff in our brains? I was doing research on memory. I was learning how computer memory works, where in the 60s when they were building computers, they made memory out of wire, and they had a grid of wire making squares, and where the wire connected, they would put a magnet. Voltage, the magnet, when you took the voltage away, the magnet could be positive or negative. And that's how early memory worked. So I was trying to figure out how the brain worked. And he says, no, Wayne, our brain's a transmitter and receiver. I was like, oh, that makes sense. I was watching Danny Jones a week ago, and he had a George, like Giorni. He's a PhD physicist, and oh, this is really mind-blowing, but imagine you have a brand new hard drive. So a hard drive ones and zeros when it's blanked out, right? There's nothing on it. So when you put a photo on it, it's gonna be 1 0, it's gonna be 0 0 1 0 0 1. It's gonna be a combination of ones and zero, and that's called high entropy. Low entropy is just straight ones and straight zeros. And he says that when you have high entropy, you can measure that. So when your hard drive is actually full, it weighs more. It weighs a little bit more. It's just like, it's so minuscule that you can't measure it. However, he said if you were to measure all the hard drives on Earth right now, they would be 1 kilogram. But at the rate that with quantum computers and everything we're doing, in 300 years, the weight of computers of high entropy would be something huge, like 1/10 the weight of the moon. And he was like, this could destroy the Earth. It's pretty wild to have that thought. I definitely welcome extreme thinking like that. Yeah, so watch the Danny Jones podcast. Lava rock. I bet you I could sell these lava rocks on eBay. I'll see how much lava rocks go for. Oh, I got a lot of battery. Now we can walk we're almost to my home. We can walk the driveway and see if there's any snake trails. I haven't seen any. Also lizard trails though. I'm wearing my snake boots, which look like that. Not sure if you could see them. They just basically go high up on the knee, and they're bite proof. So our brain's a transmitter and receiver, so we all have the ability to send messages to each other, believe it or not. Also, this is really hard to believe, but the remote viewers, I watched some Jeffrey Mishlove. He's out of Berkeley, and he's a psychologist, but he interviews a lot of remote viewers. And one of Ingo Swan's students wrote some books. I was going to buy it, but I found it on Internet Archive for free, 300 pages. But we can all remote view, like we can learn music. And yeah, I might invest more time to try to do, well, there's 7 techniques to becoming better at remote viewing. And some people did it without techniques, but you need to get in a real meditative state of mind. Oh, the thing I wanted to mention was latitude and longitude, like 37 by 123. There's more to that stuff, but even if you don't understand latitude and longitude, your subconscious knows what it is because of the global consciousness. So if we say 34 degrees west by 0.39 and 128 latitude south, we would know we're on the Earth where we were at. Even though in our conscious, if we're conscious, we wouldn't know. We'd have to look it up on a map. Thanks, Chud. It's my place right here. What a nice exercise. Been walking for 30 minutes. I walk a mile per 20 minutes. So we've gone 1.5 miles. Oh, I got to come to my driveway so I can see if Mr. Snake is coming by. I'm always on snake duty. I open my door and I think, is there a snake at the foot of my door? I always got my eyes open. I killed 17 rattlesnakes at my house. At my house. But I haven't seen one for 1.5 years now. And the last tracks I saw were kind of like 6 months ago, except I just saw tracks a week ago. Normally this time of year I sleep outdoors, but it hasn't got obsessively hot yet. So I'm hoping with my batteries, I'll be able to sleep indoor with air conditioning during the summer. Or move. Jessica's hooking me up, or trying to play matchmaker with this woman who wants to live off grid. And I mentioned that I found some alfalfa from property to grow some alfalfa, and that we could buy it together, and maybe we'll be living there. I'm not seeing any tracks yet. Well, looking for straight lines. Nope, this is where it starts. It's really distinct. They just look like slash marks, separated by like 7 inches or 6 inches. The Benjamin, hey man, nice to see you, dude. The cryptocurrency RSR went live on Coinbase and promptly did nothing. It promptly lost money. Everything else went up 20%. It lost money. I don't know why people make meme coins anymore. I mean, isn't the world kind of on to that scam? Like, fart coin? Why would somebody buy fart coin? That doesn't make any sense to me. Do people buy a lot just so one person can make $1 million and say, well, I bought a meme coin and made $1 million. So other people think, well, you got to try. Then they're like, wow, I tried, but I just lost 10 grand. I guess that was dumb. And you just get 100 people to lose 10 grand and boom, you've got your $1 million. I think it's some kind of like wizard hypnosis. Yeah, no rattlesnake trails. That's great. We're coming to the road here. The road is like pretty straight. Well, there's one turn here, but there's that. That's up to the mine. Well, my goal is to have brightchan.org open on Friday. I think I can get that done. I don't think it'll turn out to be anything good. I mean, I don't think people will migrate there so much. But I won't know if I got to try it to see. And I really just think Murphy's Law, if I get that open, somebody else will reopen 4chan. Why throw away like $50 million? I could have just sold 4chan to somebody else, cashed out. Maybe he had been shopping it and couldn't find a buyer. Somebody said, oh, can you hack Reddit so we can get a list of all the feds moderators there? And I said, you should hack Kiwi Farms so you can have the world's largest database of transgender guys so you could sell them dildos. Limited edition Kiwi Farm dildos. They'd love that. I hope my windbreak's working good. look pretty orange. It'd be funny in the future they rename orange to Trump. Trump orange. Maybe the car company should come out with Trump orange. He endorses it. He's like, "Yep, that's my color. I approve." Special order. Trump gold. Melina white. You see how bumpy the soil is right here. It's not so easy to walk on. Oh. Yeah, I'm really out of things to say. Glad I got home. Yeah, I guess that's it. I can't think of anything else to say. Okay, the conclusions. 4chan wasn't hacked. That's the excuse. They shut it down because there's a false flag coming, and they don't want people chin wagging on social media in such a large group. That's my guess. Here's my truck. I hurt my truck last week. I was loading my trailer with my car, but it wasn't connected, and it flew into the air. A dent. There's the dent right there. It's a nasty dent. I'll just leave it alone. My badass trailer. It's got a winch. It's got a winch right there. It's got like really heavy duty iron things. It's well made. All right, saying goodbye. Thanks for coming in. If you're on my Twitter, you can follow me, share this video on social media. If you are watching this on YouTube, subscribe and share that on social media. Thank you.